Hey YouTube. Hey, a quick disclaimer. Hope you enjoy the video. I am no historian. All right, I did the best I could to try to pass on what I learned at the park, things we experienced. Go for yourself if you're a history buff, or occasionally if I say the wrong thing or got the wrong side or something flip flop, just disregard that. Just enjoy the show. Try to learn a little bit along the way. Spartacus and I are just gonna sit here and rewatch the video ourselves. Take care, have a good one, and thank you for watching. Colonel William Campbell, highly regarded militia leader from Virginia. Campbell was elected nominal leader of the American forces at Kings Mountain and coordinated the efforts of the Patriots, which resulted in victory over the Loyalists.
Remember the guy on Patriot, the movie The Patriot with Mel Gibson?
Yeah?
Remember the guy that was the mean guy that killed his son and everything?
No?
Banastra Carlton?
What about him?
That's who he was. That's the real one.
Oh, really?
In the movie The Patriot, the guy, I can't remember what they called him in the movie, but his real name was Banastra Carlton.
The frontier. See, that's what they called.
Yeah.
No, these guys were the mountain men out here.
Yeah.
And they were, because they were from.
Alrighty, so here we're at the beginning of the battlefield trail, and here's one of the first, descriptive documents that we've seen. It says, a battalion of loyal Americans stood battle ready on the spine of Kings Mountain above you. Okay. Lord Cornwallis's powerful army had ground its way north from Charleston with an unbroken string of British victories. Throughout the summer of 1780, His Majesty's Inspector of Militia, Major Patriot Ferguson, had successfully convinced thousands of Carolina men to take up arms to defend the government under which they had been born and raised. Now Ferguson and 1,000 loyalists, 1/3 of the King's army south of New York, had taken their stand on the ridge, primed to finish off the rebels gathering around them. Some pictures.
Most of the Tories who fought here came from the Carolinas, just like the Whigs. They had no military uniforms. A green sprig of pine in their hats was their only identification. Loyalist militiamen trained along hours to master handling of Brown Bess muskets. Like their redcoat instructors, they expected their bayonets to carry the day on any battlefield. 9/10 of Ferguson's force were Carolina Tories. Only about 120 provincial soldiers wore the red coat. These troops were men from Connecticut, New York, New Jersey who had joined the British Army early on in the war. That's kind of interesting.
Huh. So these are all the Tories right here.
Yeah.
And then that's the old
traditional or loyal, the guys that came from up there. Interesting. So they were basically Americans, or well, I don't know. Back then, they were guys that came from over there.
Yeah.
I don't really know, right? Didn't they? Maybe they're fresh off the boat from the UK, and they just joined up their army.
Huh.
You know what I mean? Are they really Americans at this point? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The Tories fighting the other Americans? I don't really know.
They actually lived here and born here.
All these guys.
The Tories?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But aren't they the bad guys?
Yeah, but they sided with England.
Ah.
So they probably had interest, like, business interest and stuff like that with the English.
Yeah.
So.
Probably getting paid too, and they didn't own land or something.
But
Pick your
it's
side.
surprising how little there was. There's only like 1,000 men in his army, in that part of the army. So it wasn't really huge armies.
Yeah, that is surprising.
People think big armies, battles and stuff.
Revolutionary War, yeah.
It was only armies are only a couple thousand men.
Crazy.
He lost 1,000 men up here.
And then I think we lost, what, 100 max?
100 max, yeah.
Yeah, 50, 60. All right.
This was just a segment of Cornwallis's army that split off. He was only 40 miles from here in Charlotte. So, remember the movie he was telling him, you need to send some dragoons this way to take care of these people coming out of the mountains.
Cell phone audio tour.
Oh, cool.
I don't have any juice left in my battery, or I would do it. Video.
Okay.
But this hill right here is where they were, or they got rushed.
No, I think they're going to remind me up here. That's where they were coming in from this side, from that side.
The mountain men, or
Yeah. And the British were probably, just a little bit higher up. You can imagine fighting in this. It was probably all treed like it is now.
probably a lot more overgrown than it is now, because there wouldn't be empty spaces, I'd go to the high ground. I think it's a normal thing to do. This is the highest mountain kind of in this whole area.
Yeah.
So if you were going to pitch
That's why he
camp,
picked it.
this is where you would go.
Or press *0 to leave us your feedback.
12. Keypad.
Stop 12. Hiking the Kings Mountain Parks. The Kings Mountain Hiking Trail System is a coordinated effort between the Kings Mountain National Military Park, Kings Mountain State Park, and the Crowders Mountain State Park. Before embarking on a trek on any of the trails, please make sure that you are prepared to hike safely. Proper shoes, clothing.
Alright. Fighting in a forest primeval. Kings Mountain would have enabled us to oppose a superior force with advantage had it not been covered with wood, which sheltered the Americans and enabled them to fight in their favorite manner. Alexander Chesney, South Carolina Loyalist. The woods you see around you today may look ancient, but they are only a shadow of the mature forest that stood here in October 1780. Hardwood trees like oaks, hickories, and chestnuts covered the slopes of Kings Mountain, their great trunks massive by today's standards. Each tree stood much farther apart than you see here. Nor was there as much underbrush. Both Whig and Tory accounts of the battle say they could see their enemies at long distances, and they could move rapidly under the forest canopy. At the time of the battle, the top of the mountain was bare, open ground. Cool. Here's a photo. Some sort of monument on a side path that we found. Let's see. Here fell Major William Chronicle, October 7th, 1780.
Who's that?
I don't know.
Gotta look him up.
What side was he on?
It doesn't say.
I think he was on the American side.
I mean, he had no. They needed unit identification.
You know, the Americans wore paper on their hats, while the Tories, the people who supported the British, they used pine twigs on their hats to identify who's who.
So we're kind of in between the South Carolinians and the Tennessee.
At this point, surrounded on all sides, they're tightening the noose. Be as quick as you can. Stand your ground. Get behind trees. If you retreat, don't run too far off so you can turn around and go back at them. The hard morning rain had stopped. The forest floor was nice and wet. The leaves, as any squirrel hunter knows, soak up the sound. Even the footsteps of, at this point, hundreds and hundreds of patriots moving fast. The North Carolinians who had fought here had the furthest to travel in order to get the noose around the Tories. North Carolina sent more patriots to fight here than any other state. Although the over-the-mountain men from Virginia and Tennessee somehow gained greater fame for the King's Mountain victory, the Piedmont Patriots outnumbered them actually 2-1.
Take this hill and that means water in that hill. And he chose this ground to fight on.
It's a good spot. It's just a little bit hokey. So it's not all kind of an amoeba shape. It's not like they have the other stuff.
This looks like one of the main leaders for the Americans. Isaac Shelby.
From Tennessee. He said, he told his men, be your own officer, you know, use good judgment, assault the hill, don't get yourself killed, type of thing. When we encounter the enemy, don't wait for the word of command. Let each of you be your own officer and do the very best you can. In the woods, shelter yourselves, give them the Indian play. Advance from tree to tree, killing and disabling all you can. So that's something we heard about even in, you know, college history, all that. How we said our guys didn't fight fair, we would take pot shots and all that. I guess this is a classic where all that comes from, these type of battles.
I think this is going to talk about the bayonet charges of the Tories. Charging cold steel 3 times. Look how long their guns were.
Smoothbore muskets, long bayonets. From eastern Tennessee, charged up that mountain twice, and then they were chased back down by the Tories wielding their 17-inch long bayonets. Somehow, you know, some patriots found the courage to stop running, turned around, and then they went back up the hill against the fearsome cold steel one last time, and that's when they made a difference.
Looks like here's another one called Drive the Enemy. Looks pretty smoky. I think it's about the Patriots coming back after the Tories did their charge down the mountain. Cool. Okay, Americans in redcoats. Let's see. British war drums bellowed the alarm as 120 hardened veterans in red took their places in line here. They were the first to face the Whig woodsmen moving up the trees below, mounting bayonets as they had in countless drills before. They charged the riflemen. British tried to end the rebellion. Let's see. British people thought training the Tory was a good idea. And that's about it. I mean, I skimmed through it. It's some sort of large monument.
Picture. They started retreating down here. Bolts continued to pour down the ranks from all directions. Too late, they saw they were pinned down. Patriots rounded Tories remained. They took no prisoner. They were killing them. They retreated down to here where their camps were.
All right, another giant monument. Let's go see what it is. To commemorate the victory of Kings Mountain. It's a big monument. Here's all the people who were wounded during the battle. Here's a quick summary of what happened here. Just talks about how, let's see, on this field, the Patriot forces attacked and totally defeated an equal force of Tories and British regular troops. The British commander, Major Patrick Ferguson, was killed, and his entire force was captured after suffering heavy loss. This brilliant victory marked the turning point of the American Revolution. Cool. Yep. Here was the Tory commander. He got shot on his horse, and then when he was dead, he got pulled around by his horse because his foot was stuck on one of the
Oh, dang.
one of the stirrups.
Charleston felt as a proclamation for all to come forward. Peace and pardon should be granted. Vast numbers flocked in, submitted, some through fear, willingness, and others perhaps through all the hope that things would settle down and the war would end. John Roberts, Patriot, South Carolina. Finding an enemy on all sides, Ferguson called for a defensive ring facing outwards along the quarter-mile-long ridge. 90% of the Tories who fought here did not wear the King's red coat. In the war-torn backcountry of 1780, allegiances were bitter, confused, and sometimes fluid. Some men switched sides. Oh, that's bad. Even in the heat of battle, after all, the foes firing uphill at them were their own neighbors and brothers. So, there you go. We get the point. Listen, folks, you know, we're out here enjoying the freedoms and everything that we have in the world today. We're on our Xboxes and PlayStation 3s. You know, we got heart problems, high cholesterol. We're on Lipitor and statins. So if you're watching this video, you know, and you're sitting there trying to wait for the switch to happen, switch over your life, and, you know, you're sitting on a big mountain of ammunition, or you got 22,000 hammocks, you know, get out there, stay healthy. That's what it's all about at the end of the day. You know, there's a lot of rich history. That's one thing that we try to do. I'm trying to, when I go somewhere, I like to pull in the history aspect, not just look down at the ground, look at a bunch of rocks and keep going. So if there's a story to tell, I like to jump on that and learn as I go along throughout life as well. I'm getting old, man. I'm hitting my mid-40s. So, you know, it's fun to be able to get out and do things, put your regular stress of your everyday life on hold, and have a great time and learn a little along the way as well. And what dude doesn't watch History Channel, Military Channel, and all that good stuff? So this is right up most people's alleys. All right, Jstevens 2010 and Big A, Big Rob. Let's see, this was 2 miles. The other one was 6. Yeah, we don't have packs, but we understand. Hey, a good 8-mile hike never hurt anybody. We are signing out.
Yeah, yeah. Is that a bigger monument over there?
What has he got? Kind of a weird hat, huh?
Mm-hmm.
That didn't even look functional.
I think he has Under Armour on.
A little musket.
It must be hot wearing all that.
I think that's wool, isn't it? Boots. His bayonet. Little ammo pouch. That would definitely be hot down here. And what's his backpack?
It's like a wolf pelt.
Sheep or something. I wouldn't want to be wearing that. And then over here, we've got what? We've got more accurate
Kind of over the mountain.
flintlock style. He's got his little leathers kit, kind of Indian inspired, like you were saying, Rob. And a regular old hat.
Notice they always carry a hatchet,
Yeah.
even back then.
Today it's knives. All right, let's get out of here. Thank you.
Thanks.